Good evening, gentlemen. It's why do I always cough at the bloody start when I open my mouth? Good evening, gentlemen. It's Tuesday, the 4th of October. It is 10 p.m. UK time, and it's great to have you all here. It really, really is. Nice, easy-going chat tonight. A few things to talk about, and we can talk about whatever you want to talk about as well. I'll first of all say hello to everyone in the chat, and look who is back. The very first one back. The very, very first one back. Martin Ryder. So good to have you back, mate. He's just come back from Bangkok. I'm back, Eddie. Nana was full of Mengas. That's Bangkok, if anyone doesn't know. Ho Chi Minh City, $20 for the whole shebang. Everything half the price in Nam. Sounds fantastic. Sounds fantastic. Absolutely. Well, I'm glad you had a good time, and thanks for your info anyway, Martin. It's good to have you back. Oh, well, may as well put his comments here. Martin Ryder, nice bar girls in Canterbury. Canterbury, yeah, wanted 1,500 baht long time. The expected old jaded moaning about prices. Okay, now we're not really, we only talk about on this channel because, but seeing as you mentioned it, anyway, that's a significant line, that, okay? For anyone who wants to go to Thailand, guys, the expats are all jaded and moaning about prices. Well, expats do moan about prices. I mean, they also moan about tourists. They don't want tourists to come. That's usually what, surrounded with expats. But thanks for your info anyway, Martin. Good to have you back. Leeds, good evening. Teddy Jones, Tom Easton, Niall M, Chaz Brown, Neil Fleet. Nice to hear from you, Neil. Capo 17. Donald Trump is here. We got the president in the house. David Coleman, Ion Tilt. Barry from EastEnders. Wow, that's a good one, isn't it? Barry from EastEnders, greetings from San Francisco. Going to see Alcatraz in a couple of hours. What was that about? It's about 2 in the afternoon there, something like that. Fantastic, mate. I'd love to go to San Francisco. If you're going to San Francisco. Oh, God, I could go on all night. Scott McKenzie. That was written by, what's his name, from the Mamas and the Papas, wasn't it? Phillips. Wonderful song. Oh, wonderful. Good for you, Barry. Anyway, have a great time. Have a great time. Leo O'Malley. Hi, Ed. Pattaya flooded at present. Yeah, I mean, this is the rainy season, but it seems that they're having more than the fair share right now, doesn't it? September, October. I mean, I wish them the best. My thoughts are always with the small business owners, the people scratching away trying to make a living. And then, the floods come along and wash it away. I wish them the best anyway. Jet Hopper, Ian UK, nice to hear from you, mate. Den Travelaki, a day near to your trip. Yeah, absolutely. Super nice. Love your intro, Eddie. Nice music, relaxing. Thanks for coming online. No, I don't do that online. Okay, let's see. Only in private. Ian Bowden, evening, Eddie, back from the pub. Ian Bowden, evening, Eddie, back from the pub, eating a pot noodle. Oh, good for you, anyway. I haven't got any pot noodles. I haven't actually got any pot noodles. I like a nice Bombay bad boy or a curry. It's actually pretty good late at night. It says you haven't had any pot noodles for a while. Martin Blunston, nice to hear from you. Yoz Travels, good to hear from you. Stephen O'Connor, even as rain finally stopped here in Phnom Penh. Oh, well, that's good. Well, at least you haven't got floods like they have in Thailand. So, it's October. It's the rainy season. I'm sure all that will clear up. Certainly come November, December time. Singapore Dan, Life Utopia, Jamie 296, Brian Street, nice to have you, mate. Pinball. Sandra Taylor. Hi, Eddie. For me and your fave name, Steve. Sandra Taylor. I mentioned the other night, didn't I? That one of the names I don't like very much is Steve, because Steves are always people who just want to. All the ones that I met, they always want to borrow money. That's it. I've met my own personal experience of Steves. But apparently Sanders fella has gold, Steve. So I'm sure he's a nice guy. I've never met him. I'm sure he's a nice guy. David Merchant. I Daniel Mills. Daniel Mills. Ed, did you see the climate change loon who poured? Oh, God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, lock the bastard up. Lock the bastard up. Alpha Interactions. Good evening, mate, from Cork City. Okay, Gaz77. Hi, Eddie. Sat in a bar wearing a pink dress and a blue lipstick. I got kicked out of the hotel today, though, as I took a poo in the swimming pool. Do you know, I'm sure this Gaz77 has been watching too much of that series Benidorm. You know, a bloke wearing a pink dress and blue lipstick, taking a poo in a hotel swimming pool. Go watch that wonderful series Benidorm, and you will see a pattern there. Maybe that's Leslie, you know, the Geordie fellow with the bald head who dresses up as a woman. Carl Timothy, I left my heart in San Francisco. Good song. Good song. David Coleman, we're getting controversy here. Sorry, guys, San Francisco is a dump now. So much crime and homeless. You know what you need, don't you? You know you need bloody Dirty Harry to come along and clear the place up. Yeah, that's what you need. You need Dirty Harry with his Magnum 44 handgun, the most powerful handgun in the world. You know, I can blow your head clean up. Did you know that two famous people were born in San Francisco? One of them was Clint Eastwood. I think he was actually born in San Francisco. And the other who was born in San Francisco was Bruce Lee. Okay, sorry, my Bruce Lee impression. Ian Bowden loves San Fran, but will be so expensive now. Surely, I'd like to visit San Francisco because another New York city, other American cities like New York, simply because I grew up on movies that were set there. In San Francisco, you had the Dirty Harry movies. You also had Bullet with Steve McQueen. The famous car chase scene. Wonderful stuff. New York had the French Connection, Shaft, many other great movies. Yogi Bear, good evening. Did you see it on the news that a guy wanted a Spitfire so much he spent 16 years and built one? They said if he sells it, it's $3 to $5 million. But for 16 years' work, I mean, I would hope he'd get a fair packet for it. That's quite remarkable, really. But I didn't really see that in the news. To be honest with you, I only really see bad news on the news these days. Mark Olive, good evening, Mark. Nice to hear from you, mate. Hope all's well. Yeah, Poodle Master. Steady Eddie. Hope we can meet in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, December the 24th to 27th. Apartment on 1360. What other places are good? 180. Well, I mean, it's been almost 4 years now since I've been to Cambodia, but the Riverside area is terrific, isn't it? You know, you got those streets you mentioned, also the legendary 104 Street. You got some great places in Cambodia. I think Steve O'Connor is the person to ask about that because he actually lives there. Steve O'Connor is in the chat. Yogi Bear, good evening, Yogi. Bend over. We are very, very hippiest tonight, aren't we? Bend over. Be sure to wear some flowers in your hair. Oh, lovely song. I've done many a karaoke to that. Be sure to wear some flowers in your hair. Oh, my God, magnificent. I wish I'd have been a part of that generation. You know, I think I was born 10 years too late. I mean, I'd love to have been, a part of that hippie generation. I think I'd really, really have liked that. Instead, I was part of the glam rock, generation. Glam rock to punk rock, that sort of stuff, Anyway, Leo Malley, Ed, on your next trip, is the Philippines on the agenda? I wouldn't rule it out, but if you carry on with this, you've still got that, restrictions, haven't you? We know they want you to have the latest booster if they're still going to be bloody awkward. I wouldn't have thought so. I mean, I want to go to countries where they don't have any of that PCR or any of that bloody vaccination stuff and all that. But I mean, Philippines, last time I was there, I did like it. Good place. Brian Street, I left my fags in Sam Kidd's disco. Okay, good for you. David Coleman, oh my God, I saw that terrible thing that happened to Captain Tom's statue. I mean, what does it matter with people when they do things like that? You know, the bloody locked. I mean, they belong in a bloody loony bin. You know, anyone who does something like that. Andrew Hammond, 23 hours until the bird flies towards Bangkok. Can't wait. Get me out of here. There's people now on the chat, Brian Street and Martin Ryder, who've just come back from Bangkok. So there's people, you know, there's people there. I mean, I'm heading out there that way next month, and I can't wait. I can't wait either. What's his name? Was it David R? Who was being on the other channel? You know, the guy who wears the hats, the American guy. He's flying out there now to Bangkok. So you know, there's plenty of people heading out there. Paul Hoskin, nice to have you. There's a song about San Francisco. Pretty flowers in your hair. Yeah, okay, yeah. We know that one, Paul. Nice to hear from you. Sean Harris, hello, Ed. Do you ever go for a wet shave at a barber's when on your travels? And what nationality do you think make the best barbers? Oh, I never ever go for a wet shave. I mean, I wouldn't pay money to do something I could so easily do at home. I mean, you know, some people say like, oh yeah, but a wet shave really, really gets you close. So it'll probably bloody grow back in 5 minutes. What nationality do you think make the best barbers? Well, I kind of like the ties the way they do, but be careful in a Turkish barber shop, because the last time I had my hair cut in the Turkish barbers, oh my God! I mean, you know, I think it was in the Fethiye region, and the young Turkish lad. Oh my God Almighty! I mean. The thing about certain cultures, they're very, very touchy feely. I mean, in Britain now, you touch somebody, harassment and all this kind of stuff. You know, they're very, very touchy feely. I mean, this guy, you know, cut me hair and he shreds, with the flame, and all the hairs and all this kind of stuff, and then whatever, and he was, started to give me a massage, which I hadn't asked for, and then he was like, oh, Jesus Christ, I mean, he's gonna bloody give me a happy ending in a minute. Be careful about that one. Be careful. Yours Travels, the boat trip around Alcatraz and under the bridge is a great few hours. The pier area is very good. Go see the submarine. You can go in it. It's great to see inside the sub. Wow, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind. That sounds bloody great. That sounds terrific. I wouldn't mind that at all. Thanks for that info. Spitz Energy, nice to hear from you, mate. He lives in Thailand, in Chiang Mai, I believe. Thailand offers a safe haven for those holidaymakers that want to leave their woke countries and actually enjoy themselves and not having to tread on eggshells all the time. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they are. They are more laid back, and they're not as silly in Thailand as they are in other countries. I mean, I can think I won't say it, but I've got to, I won't say it, but there was a well-known sign in okay, how can I phrase this? There was a well-known sign in a bar in Walkham Street. Nice little bar. They serve some nice food. I think it might have been an Australian bar or whatever. And they had girls working there. And they had for years. What they've still got, I don't know. But they had a sign up saying, how can I phrase this? No something to sit down here. We do not want something people consuming alcohol and accosting women. We respect your religious views. Okay, did I phrase that well? Yeah, it was there. It was on the wall in this bar for many, many years. I mean, hey, they've been bloody uproar. You put a sign like that in this country, in a bar in this country, it'd be all in the national newspapers. People will be, all the woke brigade will be rioting on the streets and all this kind of stuff. But in Thailand, they left that sign on the wall for years. You know, there's a certain group of people that they didn't want in the bar, and they put a sign that said, "We don't want you." Okay, so I think I phrased that one there quite diplomatically. Paul Augustin, nice to hear from you. MMTV, definitely. Oh yeah, I'm going to put this. I like this comment. MMTVI, definitely looking skinnier, pal. Keep it up. Oh, good. I'm glad you said that. I mean, I wasn't going to talk about, the long run and saga of my exercise regime, but seeing as you mentioned it, yeah, another the best part of 3 hours now between the long exercise bike routine, few push-ups and various other things, and a nice big speed walk to a country lane and back. Best part of 3 hours now. I'm doing it every day, and the thing is, I've actually got my enthusiasm for exercise back. I mean, this beer belly is still stubborn. It's still stubborn, but it will go eventually. I mean, I don't know how much weight I've lost, but I'm feeling a lot more agile now. Definitely a lot fit. What I'm doing now on the is I couldn't have done a few months ago. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for mentioning. Anyway, let's see. Michael DiCaprio. Hi, Ed. He just arrived from Swansea. How's it going, mate? Okay, going fine. Nice to hear from you, mate. Mister, bacon and 99-cent plus butter with 3 eggs chocolate cake relieves the depression. Wish I could make frosting. Well, I won't be eating any of that right now at this moment in time. Ginger Joe, nice to hear from you. Sean Harris, San Francisco was a dump back in 1989, so I guess nothing's changed. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Gaz77, Eddie, do you want me to send you a picture of myself sat in the bar in Portugal wearing a pink dress and blue lipstick? Oh yeah, I love it. Okay, yes, yeah, I'd like that. Your travels, David Cole, was that just San Fran, LA, Vegas, many other places? America doesn't look. Oh, don't want to get into all of that. I'm not American, so I can't really comment on that. Let's see. Tings, my mum said I was conceived in San Francisco. Okay, good. Okay. Poodle Master. Yeah, I am Tilt. Dirty Harry probably now identifies as Hillary now, and has blue hair and is transitioning into San Francisco. Okay. What's a clip? I mean, Clip was so laconic with his lines. I love that scene when he's taking the bag of money to the killer through the parks in San Francisco, and all of a sudden some sort of effeminate young man appears, and Clint thinks this could be the killer, and Clint says, "My name's Callahan," and the young man says, my name's Alice. I'll do anything for a day. And Clint says, "Well, Alice, when was the last time you got busted?" and the young man says, "If you're Vice, I'll kill myself." And Clint says very, very coolly, "Yeah, well, do it at home, will you?" Okay. Wonderful. Anyway, okay. Who's this? Capo. Ed, Bruce Lee's first film was in Bangkok. He played the ladyboy. It was called Enter the Drag Queen. Like it. Is something. In UK, did you have go-go bars in Phnom Penh? Well, not when I was last there. They don't. No, they don't really have that sort of scene. They're not really good for the massage scene either. Really, not really. I mean, I'm not like the all-in. Not massages as in all in rumpy pumpy, no holds barred, sort of stuff. Go-go bars, no, they don't really do that. Gas77, I'm going to jump on the table in a moment and start singing. And if he breaks the table, he'll probably run off without paying for it. Let's see. Okay. Ian Bowen, I sang karaoke in Benidorm to Sugar Baby Love, and I cleared the bar out. Well, that's my kind of karaoke. I like going in karaoke bars where the singer is crap, because that makes me think, well, I can get them and sing now, and can't do any worse than that. Carl Timothy, so Ed's trip reports be vital to my travels there. Okay, well, they'll be coming up next month. Definitely can't wait. Paul Loskin, there's an episode that mentions Glasgow. Can't think what one that would be. Massa, evening Eddie, looking good with the weight loss, and you've inspired me to buy an exercise bike myself. I have a few stone to lose, and I like the idea of doing it whilst watching the box. Cheers. Do you know something? I mean, I really will say that that's a really good exercise. I mean, you put your favorite videos on YouTube. Just get up early in the day and or whenever you get up, and if what you're watching is something interesting, then I mean, the time just passes by. I mean, I don't set targets, nothing like that. Just get on a bike and just keep going. Don't think about it. And I was on the bike for 2 hours today, and then I done my other exercises afterwards. So it does work. It does work. I own Tilt. Philippines has completely lost the plot now for COVID. They're making children have the injection to go to school. It's just, oh no, I don't like the sound of that at all. Don't like the sound of that. Paul Hoskin, Jerry and the Pacemakers, ferry across the Mersey. Yeah. It was a good song there. David Coleman, Eddie, I go for a wet shave every year on my birthday. It's just something really nice to do. To Pampy is it? Pampy is it? Well, I suppose so, but I mean, I wouldn't like anyone, to, cutthroat razor. I wouldn't like that. I was thinking, it might be, but someone might come up behind. Oh, I know that bastard. Give us that razor. I was thinking that it could be one of the Wongas, or a Wonga sympathizer. The wet shit. Now, what did you bloody say about women who go to Gambia? Oh, Jesus Christ. Super Stephen, see you in Pattaya. Thank you. Carl Tiffany, London Calling, The Clash. Good song, but I thought they were a bit overrated. David Coleman, Italians make the best barbers. Okay. They also do a bloody good lasagna as well. Matthew Cartwright, nice to hear from you. Let's see. Sean Harris, we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. I thought the Golden Gate Bridge scene, the new Planet of the Apes movie, was terrific. I do seem to recall that. I seem to recall that. Good movie, that. Stephen O'Connor, a sign in the old Walkabout Hotel in Phnom Penh used to say, prostitute is illegal in the Kingdom of Cambodia. Well, it still is, isn't it? It is technically illegal, isn't it? It is technically the Walkabout. Is that the same Walkabout you talk about, which was, it was a great little knocking shop, that one. It was on 51 Street. It was one of the well-known bars. It was a good bar as well, that. A lot of freelancers there. I mean, that's gone now, hasn't it? I mean, they were the days, good days then. Walkabout, hotel. And they had the Zeppelin bar close by as well. Where this guy used to sit, a very, very quiet, mean and moody guy in the Zeppelin bar, and he used to sit there, with all the vinyl stuff and play all of it, and he was great. He was absolutely terrific. Oh, they were the days. It does. I know what you mean, Steve. It does seem a little bit ironic, that one, doesn't it? Loads of freelancers about. Ian Bound, the only barbers nowadays in and around the North Surrey area seem to be Turkish. They do a good job. But I missed the saying of something for the weekends here. Okay, we won't even go there. Eastern Man is here. Nice to hear from you, Eastern Man. I had a midget give me a haircut in Bombay, and he got the mirror so I could see the back of it. It was on a wardrobe door and still had the hinges on it. Okay, something different anyway. So let's say I've fallen a little bit behind. Not that much. There's 150 people in the chat for a Tuesday night. We're just waffling on. A nice friendly chat anyway. Super nice. Eddie, a price the same. Would you drink Leo, Chang, or Singer, or Heineken? I'd probably drink Leo. I mean, of the Thai beers, Singer is one of the most common ones. It's good, but I think maybe Leo might actually be a tiny little bit better. Chang, I don't like that at all. I just do not like that Chang. And as for Heineken, I would usually drink Heineken because in a lot of the bars in Thailand, I mean, Heineken is a similar price to the local beers. The problem with Heineken, that is very, very high in calories, If you actually look at the chart of which are the most high-calorie beers, Heineken has surprisingly got more calories than most of the others. So that's why I put on weight when I'm out there. David Coleman, in San Francisco, the gang's just running the store, hundreds of them at the same time, and smash up everything and steal. The police can't do anything. Jesus, and I thought it was a lovely city to go to. I've met people who've been to San Francisco and they say, "Oh, it's a lovely city." Sounds like bloody, I don't know. It sounds like something out of Escape from New York. Yeah, Stephen O'Connor, who lives in Phnom Penh, still no go-go bars here in Phnom Penh. Stay well away from the $3 massage places. They just rob you blind by putting fake money in your wallet. A very unhappy end. Oh my God Almighty! Well, when I travel there with a friend, he goes in massages a lot and says they're pretty good, but they're not the dirty type. They're not really the dirty type. But yeah, I have heard a couple of things about the massages. I mean, it makes it. Do you know so when you hear that, it makes somewhere like Pattaya, really seem like heaven. Really, I mean, all the massage girls, you never have a problem with them. Honestly, you go and have a dirty massage or a soapy massage in Bangkok or Pattaya, and you just don't have a problem with them. I never have. Never had a bloody problem with them at all. I mean, it makes you realize that, Thailand, we take it for granted, but those girls are really, really good there. I can't wait to see them again. Bottle Baby just arrived 4 weeks to go before my flight. When you say you've just arrived in this stream, or you 4 weeks to go before you fly. Oh well, good for you anyway, mate. See, so many people are going to Thailand and right now. They've either just come back. So there's people who are going. People who are going. Yeah, Nick Ross, a history lesson here. Moscow hoards war record. 1856, defeated by Britain and France. 1905, defeated by Japan. 1917, defeated by Germany. 1920, defeated by Poland, Finland, and Estonia. So maybe the Russians aren't as hard as what they make out that they are. Let me see. Super nice. Isn't Carlsberg very similar to Heineken? Just Heineken is slightly more flavoured taste. Well, usually Carlsberg is not as good as I don't like the ordinary Carlsberg, but I must admit, with the cans, I do like I do like the Carlsberg exports. I really, really do like that. But the ordinary Carlsberg I don't like. But Heineken, you get Heineken in Vietnam as well, and it's often the same price as it's cheap. But the thing about Heineken, I'm trying to lose weight, and I've got to be conscious about what I eat and drink now. As you say, Heineken, if you drink that all the time in the quantity that I drink it, it is actually one of the higher calorie beers. That, believe it or not. Yeah, Nick Ross, Solzhenitsyn's Moscow, only victories come from invading smaller countries. Hungary, Czechoslovakia, Moldova, Georgia. Okay, thanks for that info there, mate. Thanks for that. Oh, come on, we can't resist this. Ginger Joe, what do you call a German barber? Haircut. I like it. I like it. I am Tilt. What's Clint Eastwood in Coogan's Bluff the other night? Forgot how good it was. Bloody great. That was his first collaboration with Don Siegel. And I think that was his changeover from being a Western star to actually being a modern day city thriller, hero. I actually think that was probably the film that inspired that TV series McCloud with Dennis Weaver. But I tell you what, that's 1968, that movie. So how old is that now? Is that 54 years old, that movie? And I'll tell you what, if you've never ever seen that film before, that 54-year-old movie, you watch the pool room brawl scene, and I would still say you will be on the edge of your seat. Brilliant stuff, brilliant. in UK, I got my haircut in Siam Reap a couple of years ago, $3. Best haircut I've had. You get a haircut if you're on, I think it's 13th Street in Phnom Penh. They have the barbers, outside the wall of the temple, and it's a couple of dollars, and they're great. They're really, really good people. The Cambodian people are so friendly. They are really, really good set of people. They're real characters. I mean, it's hard not to like them. Thais are great, but because they're so used to tourists, I think the Thais are a bit more cynical now, aren't they? They're a bit more, bloody tourists. There's whereas the Cambodians, the people that you encounter in restaurants and bars and even the hairdressers on 13th Street, they're terrific. Really, really good people. David Coleman, did you hear that the Thai government said that you can't go into the country if you're an alcoholic? Hilarious there. Okay. Oh, that's good. Capo 17, Turkish Barbers now a town called Turkish Hairways. That's good. I like that. They're pretty good with the Turks. I mean, I sort of lived sporadically in Turkey for a number of years, and when they have fake stores, some of the names are brilliant. Asda with a Z, Harvey Nicholas, and one of my favorites, a department store, Mark Spenger. Don't you just love them? Don't you just love them? Andrew Hammer, one of the best Clint Eastwood movies. Play Misty for me. I've had a few psychopathic women like her in my time. Yeah, wonderful. Great movie. I think Jessica Walters stole the show there. Let's see. Yeah, Ian Bowden. I spent the late afternoon visiting Windsor pubs, and now the town is empty. Tourists and mourners virtually all deserted now. I should imagine that's probably a bit of an expensive place there. Probably no one's got any money. But Barry Harmon, I actually love the condemnation of Greta Thunberg last night. Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, your travels. If you ever in Amsterdam, the Heineken Brewery is great 2 to 3 hours. Similar to going to the Guinness Brewery in Dublin. Great to see how it's all brewed. Yeah, I never actually met. I've been to Amsterdam many times, but I've never actually made it to that brewery. Funnily enough. Ian Bowden, this coming high season in Southeast Asia will be interesting to see how the various countries may have improved or gone downhill over the last 2 to 3 years of change. Well, I mean, the thing is that the last 2 to 3 years they've taken a knock. This country's taken a knock. Everything's taken a knock. I mean, no one's ever had a couple of years like it, so it's not going to recover overnight, really. So. But the last time I was in Thailand. I mean, towards the end, it was getting much better. I mean, when I left Thailand in May, it was a lot different than when I arrived there in January. Spitz Energy. I've got sandbags at the front door and front patio doors here in Chiang Mai. I'm watching the water level slowly creep up the drive. Fingers crossed. 4:30 a.m. here. Oh, well, best of luck to you, mate. I don't think I've. Yeah, they're going through a hell of a time here in Thailand right now, aren't they? And yeah, funnily enough, all those floods and rain and everything. I mean, come December and January, I mean, it'll be gloriously sunny, and there probably won't even be a hint of rain. Eastern man, beer Lao is probably the best in Southeast Asia. They do range of 6 now, including an IPA. Okay, I've beer Lao. But not for a while. Oh yeah, there's one. Rob. Big fan of Asari lager. Hard to get hold of though. Well, you can get it at the 7-Elevens in Pattaya. Lovely. I think that's a Japanese one, isn't it? Lovely beer there. Lovely beer. Glenn Wyndham, you're right about Heineken. It's got 14 grams of carbs I'm thinking of San Miguel Light might be a better option. A 3.5 gram cars with 4% alcohol. I love Heineken though. Yeah, well, yeah, Heineken. I was actually looking at a list on the internet. About the calories in beers. And I was surprised to find that Heineken is actually definitely one of the higher calorie beers. And if you're drinking, so many bottles of that every day in Thailand or whatever, then it all creeps up on you. The San Miguel Light, often you can get that at a similar price where you can get for the local beers. I mean, that is definitely better if you're trying to lose weight, definitely. But the thing about San Miguel Light, after a while, it's just, it feels a bit water, or it tastes a bit watery, really. It just doesn't taste it. I mean, this is Coors. It's not Coors Light. This is just Coors here, but it's a light beer, and this is nice. Okay. Ginger Joe, Eddie, ever been to the Azores? Where was somebody mentioned? I've never actually been there, but Yours Travels has been there. Ginger, the Azores is amazing. I have some amazing pictures from the Azores. Where is this? That around Portugal, that sort of way? Yeah, Brian Street, kebab fan near me. Jason's Donovan. Okay, brilliant. Like it. The roads ahead. The roads ahead. Khmer people are the best, easily. Oh, they are some lovely. That's what wins you over about Cambodia. It's the people. Wonderful. Paul Oscar, I stopped at about 30 beers, but that's only 2.5 beers an hour. Okay, good for you, mate. I am Tilt. Love the Clint movie, Paint Your Wagon. They should do a remake in Pattaya. The end scene when sorry, mate, but Paint Your Wagon. Clint Eastwood making an absolute jerk of himself. I mean, with all all lads, a bit of foolish whatever, but it was just wrong for that. I talk to the trees, but actually when I was a kid, I actually had the single. Lee Marvin singing, I was born under a wandering star. And I must admit, I think that was actually the first song around about 1969 or 70. That I actually learned all the words to it. I actually knew all the words of that song. And it seemed to be number one for weeks and weeks, didn't it, in the charts? With Lee Marvin singing that. And Clint singing I Talk to the Trees was actually on the B side of that single. So there you go. Bet you didn't know that. Let's see. Yours Travels got the Fort Maxine yesterday, just in case any countries change the rules. It's COVID. I haven't been invited unless I haven't checked my messages. I mean, I haven't been invited off the fourth one. Ian UK. It's on the up end, around 43 bar today. Okay, well that's good. The pound is moving a little bit slightly up. It's not really much, but it's moving a bit up. It can only be good moves if it's going very, very slowly in the right direction. It's in the right direction. Before I forget. Now I don't normally give a shout out to other channels, but honestly, man, honestly, I will urge anyone. If you're in Britain, I will urge anyone to watch this channel. And the guy, I'm going to give this guy simply because I just love his channel so much. I'm going to give it. I was. Let's see. I'm going to give this guy a plug. He doesn't need it because he's got a big channel, far bigger than my channel. Okay, there you go. And this is a shout out for a wonderful channel. Let's get it on there now. Get on there. Okay. History Debunked. Okay. History Debunked. Now, this is an oldish guy, and this is an historian called Simon Webb. And he posts about, at least one video that I think he posts more like 2 videos a day. They're usually only about, 4-minute, 5-minute videos. They're not long, but basically he's sitting in his, in his living room. He's got a big mustache, and oh my God, the man speaks his mind. And he's still got advertising on YouTube. I mean, but he's very, very, he's non-woke. He's very much against the establishment. He's very, very, very outspoken about various minorities. And I was watching a video today where he was very, very, very outspoken, extremely outspoken about our Chancellor of the Exchequer, Chris, whatever his name is, the Chancellor of the Exchequer that we've got now. And check out that channel sometime. History Debunked. That guy is brilliant. He says the kind of things that the rest of us simply wouldn't have the guts to say. Go and watch his video on the Chancellor, what he thinks of the Chancellor, and you could just be hooked. Okay, it's called History Debunked. Big shout out to him. I love watching his channel. Absolutely love it. Okay, so let's see. Let's get that off there anyway. Let's get that off there. Where are we now? Let's see. Yours travels. Azores is a Portuguese island, but in the middle of the Atlantic. Really? Yours travels. Lots of cruise ships. Even the name sounds very, very exotic. Martin Blunsden. Do you have ice in your beer in Thailand, Ed? No. What is it? I don't want bloody watered down beer. Definitely not. I want a nice cold beer. A cold beer, maybe in a frosted glass. But ice, never. Watered down beer? What's the bloody point of that? Ian Bowden, Eddie, I'm thinking of taking Barb. That's Ian's delightful wife, Mrs. or whatever, whatever. Eddie, I'm thinking of taking Barb to Phnom Penh next year. Do you think she'll feel safe there? She doesn't pretend. Phnom Penh, I've got to be honest. I mean, you're taking your lady friend there. I have come across some women, I know a couple who love going to Thailand together, and they've been to Vietnam together, and they have a little boy as well. They take the little boy with them, and they love Thailand. They love Vietnam. But the actual wife, she told me that that Cambodia was one place that she didn't really feel very, very safe in, and also. I seem to recall another woman somewhere telling me that she didn't really feel safe in. I think it's safe, I don't know where to go. But one thing, if you have any jewelry or anything like, be very, very careful, because if you're in a tuk-tuk, the motorbikes will come past you. And I'm not trying to frighten you or not. If you use common sense, then you'll be fine. But Cambodia, have a look at it. I'll tell you, Ian. I'll tell you where Barb will love. She will love Siem Reap. Everyone loves Siem Reap. Really, really, really nice town. Really nice, pleasant town. Phnom Penh, well worth a visit, but just be a little bit careful of it. Let me see. Okay, here we go. So, let me see. I'll just skip forward. Let's see, John Mitt, you ought to get the new Maxine Bible and got mine today. Oh, good for you, mate. I haven't been invited. Invited. Let's see, David Coleman. Liz is really messing up. It didn't take long. It's Liz. I mean, she's been in power for about a month now, or 4 weeks, whatever it is. Okay, she hasn't really been given a chance because of the Queen passing away. So, for the first couple of weeks, I mean, she was out of the news really. But is there anything that you've seen in Liz Truss up to now that makes you think she's the one who should lead this country? Well, no, I haven't seen anything up to now. Pinball. I've watched him, Ed. He gets big viewing figures in the show space because he's brilliant. Stephen West, brilliant. Yeah, he's talking about history debunked. He said, I may as well put the name on the screen again. We're talking about, we'll talk a little bit because he's worth talking about. He is worth talking about. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, Stephen West says, history debunked, brilliant channel. Absolutely. Random guy. Debunked is a bit racist. It depends what your definition of that one is. I mean, he's honest. It's who you believe. I don't really see any reason for them. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that, but I don't really. I don't really. I don't think he is. I think he's honest. I think he simply tells the truth. I think he's quite transparent. It depends who you believe, but I love watching him, and he's he's YouTube friendly at the moment. I'm a little bit surprised, really, but he still has adverts on his channel, so YouTube seems to like him. David, David Cohn, people do say he's better, but I think he is just telling the truth, okay? Stephen West, he says that I was his. The guy's name is Simon Webb, and he is Simon Webb, and History Debunked. That's the channel, and it is just so worth checking out. Even if you watch one or two of his videos, you may find yourself, this guy's got something. He knows his stuff. Eddie, do you remember your first TV crush? Mine was Hot Lips, Hooligan Mash, and almost every female that appeared in the old Star Trek series. Okay. I don't remember that one. Nick Ross, meaning Asia will be in turmoil, starting in Malaysia, Siam, Jakarta, etc. Nick, have you ever considered changing your name to the Voice of Doom? Oh my God. Thanks for your info. Brian Street, bedtime. Okay, thanks, Brian. Thanks for coming along anyway. Sleep well, mate, anyway. Wait. Okay, Scaffolder John, press the like button, folks. Okay, cheers. Nick Ross, I detest Siam Reap. It's for tourists only. Well, to be honest with you, when I first went to Siam Reap, I mean, before that, I came the other end of Cambodia. I went to Sihanouk and then Phnom Penh, which I fell in love with. And Siam Reap, I was, at a first sight of Siam Reap, I was a little bit disappointed because I was expecting a real historical, authentic town. And it isn't really. It's actually a purpose-built town because of its tourist town. Because of its proximity to Angkor Wat, which obviously a lot of people would want to go and see, and it's well worth a visit if you've never been there. But it's Siam Reap. It grows. There is a lot of young people there, but it's a very, very pleasant place. Very pleasant place, Siam Reap, and it's well worth a visit. Okay, Ian Bowden, cheers, Ed. Yes, Siam Reap may be on the agenda to go with my partner. I think Barber will like the Siam Reap a lot more than Phnom Penh. I really, really do. I think everyone likes Siam Reap, except for Nick Ross. He doesn't like it. Okay. Okay, I'm going to take that off now. We talked about that one anyway. We talked about that channel there. I'll only talk about another channel if I have good things to say about it. Yeah, tell Circle. Simon always starts with hello again. Terry Jones, I'm not going to put that comment on the screen, but I think you're wrong there because he's actually done a video about that. He's not. He isn't. His ancestry is, a mixture of other things, Irish and whatever. Ian Bowden, just sub to History Debunked. We'll watch when I get a chance. But to be honest, there isn't much time left for me to watch any other good stuff on YouTube. You take up so much YouTube space now in a good way. Okay, cheers. I'll drink to that. Okay, I think Simon has written a few books. Okay, I think Simon has written a few books. Yeah, he has. He's an historian. He has written books. Okay, so in a moment, there's a question that comes from Ian Bowden. It actually comes yesterday. Yesterday when we were having that chat about what were we talking about now? Shows how memorable it was. We were talking about protesters, climate change, and all the other stuff. And Ian Bowden came up with a question. I thought that's good. We'll use that one. It's well worth using that one. So in a moment, we'll we'll talk about that question because it's worth talking about. Come on, where are you now? Where are you? Okay. In the moment, yeah. In the meantime, it's squeaky door time. Back in a minute. Okay, so where are we now? Where are we? Let's see, hide that one. Okay, back to the comments. Oh, okay, let's see. Nick Ross, ladies love Phnom Penh, but they don't like to hang around in Galia. The Russian mark is a favour, and any tuk-tuk out into the countryside. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, let's see. Okay, so yesterday Ian Bowden mentioned something during yesterday's chat. Okay, and I'll just see if I can phrase it. How am I going to phrase this here? Okay, this isn't exactly his question, but this is basically what he meant, and it's a good thing to talk about. Okay, so this is the way I'm going to phrase this anyway. So what happened and what exacerbated this situation was a couple of years ago with the George Floyd stuff. BLM, that sort of thing. It was a tragic event. Yeah, it was a tragic event, but it kicked off a lot of protests. Across the world, in America, other places. Now, here in England, in certain areas where they've got a strong, black community, Bristol, places like that, the protesters decided to tear down statues and stuff that are relation to slave trades and whatever. Now, an awful lot of the city where I come from, Liverpool, a lot of the wealth comes from slavery in the 18th century. And in the 18th century, Liverpool was at the core of the slave trade. From about 1699 to 1807, something like that, for over 100 years. In fact, Liverpool became the main slavery port in Britain, and I think maybe even Europe at one time. But now you get people who want to tear down statues of people who have dubious history and all that. And the fact is, whether it's good or bad, it's still history. It's still this. You can't go bloody tearing down statues of people because you don't like what they stood for 200 years ago. And nevertheless, people are doing this. Okay. So, I mean, all this political correctness and wokeness is all, I think it's a little, I think it's got out of hand anyway. And the question is, should we abandon history for the sake of political correctness? In other words, if there's a statue in your town centre that's been there for 200 years and it's revealed that he had a dodgy past, should we say, right, that's it, we're tearing that bloody statue down and throwing it in the river? Should you do that? Anyone got any opinions on that? Okay, Eddie, what's it? Nick Ross, Eddie, I can't breathe. Okay. Eason, man, Tories are being New Labour and Blue. Oh, Liz gets it back to being Conservatives. Okay. Mark Oleg, I live in Minneapolis and don't find it funny. Okay, I'm not sure about that, Mark. Not sure what you mean there, but we'll all we'll have a little chat here. Ian Brown, in the US and even in Thailand, would the police forces dance on the Macarona during the street party? Probably not. Scaffolder John, we're all slaves. We're all slaves, okay? David Merton, his answer is no. We shouldn't abandon history for the sake of political correctness. Scaffolder John, smash cultural Marxism. Sandra Taylor, no. I mean, it's bloody ridiculous, isn't it? It's ridiculous, the idea that history is history. A lot of history is bad. I mean, if you lived in a street called Attila the Hun Street, okay, now but who's going to call it that in the first place? I mean, most people who have known these streets and buildings and statues for years, they may have had a connection to slavery or other terrible things. But you can't bloody go. Where do you stop? Do you tear buildings down? Some people are living in a bloody historical apartment block. If you find out that the architect was involved in crime or something heinous, you say, well, that's it, we'll tear it down. I mean, where do you stop? Where the hell do you stop? David Coleman, very stupid police in England dancing to the Macarena. It's a disgrace. Well, they've got nothing better to do. They've got loads of bloody crime, but they'd rather do that. Andrew Hammond, you cannot change history, but you can learn from it. Absolutely. Sorry, but I think in this day and age, we with the economy bloody in trouble and everything, I think we've got better things to do than I mean, these people who tear statues down, wow, they should be thrown in prison. They should if they want to do something, go and clean up the beaches, go and clean up the bloody streets or whatever. Go and do that instead. David Coleman, the cops are all LGBTQ or BLM, okay. Yogi Bear, Bristol was not a big slave port. That's why they pulled the statue in the dock. But there's other statues. I mean, where do you stop? Because, a certain statue outside of the BBC, and this is Alex Belfield. I didn't know about this until I was watching Alex Belfield. Apparently the statue, and I don't want anyone using the P word or any of that rubbish, but, the bloke who designed the statue, the architect of it, had a dubious past. So we're going to tear that down. Oh, geez, it's all bloody crazy. Yours travels. History is history. It's there for everyone to learn. Everyone is too sensitive now. Absolutely. Tamba guy, you can't judge the past by standards of today. It's silliness. James Stewart, it should be called political incorrectness. Yeah, good word anyway. Now, let me say that Liverpool, I think I mentioned Liverpool, a lot of the economy years ago was based on slavery. The Liverpool people, Liverpool traders, taking goods to Africa, and in return they would get slaves. They would get African slaves, and then they brought them to, they shipped them out to America. And Liverpool was at the center of the slave trade many years ago. A lot of the wealth and there's a lot of beautiful historical buildings in it. But there's an awful lot of them where the wealth obviously came from the slave industry. Are we going to tear those beautiful buildings down? Is that what we're going to do? Scaffolded John, half his history is fake and based on lies and half truths. Okay, well, I'll tell you what the truth is. The truth is that I'm drinking a fire catcher. It's only 3.5%, this one, but it's looks nice anyway. Get in there. Go on, get in there. Get in there. There you go. I do like a nice bit of head. Okay, let that settle for the moment and I'll tell you what it's like. Okay. Capo 17, at one point in history, Britain ran a third of the world. We cannot preach to anyone. Okay. Jet Hopper, we need to get back to the old-fashioned values and look after ordinary people instead of ignoring them. Yeah, absolutely. That's the old-fashioned stuff. I mean, okay. I mean, political correctness, we know now. We know better. We know to tolerate, other races. And we know that we should tolerate other sexualities and all that, this kind of stuff. But to be bloody changing street names and all that. Let me, just look at this one, okay? Now, Rodney Street, an awful lot of streets in Liverpool are named after slave traders. Rodney Street. And even some streets that I know, Bowl Street and places like that. Rodney Street, okay? Now, you may not know that one. But would you believe, and there's some people dispute this, but I don't, I don't think it is the case. Would you believe one of the Beatles' most charming, wonderful songs with all the lovely images of the life that goes on there was actually named after a slave trader? Penny Lane, there you go. Penny Lane is in my ears and in my eyes. Absolutely wonderful. But when I was a kid, that was the Beatles song that I loved. Absolutely loved. Whenever it came on the radio, wonderful. Such a, it conjures up images of such, wonderful times. A very, very joyous song. But apparently, it came to light some years ago that it is named after William Penny. He was a slave trader. Some people dispute that, but I don't think that, but these people certainly don't dispute that. Okay, there you go. Okay, so that's and I think that's really clever because Liverpool is. I mean, I actually used to live around the Penny Lane area at one time, and it is a really lovely part of Liverpool. It's in the Allerton area. And it's absolutely lovely area. Penny Lane is a nice part of Liverpool. But there you go. There's what some bright spark thought of Penny Lane. Anyway, very, very sad that is. Okay. Paul Hoskin, is there a statue of Casanova? Like it, mate. That's you, isn't it? Sandra Taylor, there won't be anything left in this country the way things are going. I mean, where do you stop it all? That's it. Where do you stop with all the once we're in for the penny, in for the pound. Once you say you're going to take that statue down because that represents evil, you've got to change that street name because it represents it. Where do you stop? Should we tear down a bloody skyscraper? Where do you stop? Scaffolded John, most books have been rewritten so you can trust this far left propaganda. I am Tilt, it's all mainstream media promoting an agenda of trying to create division. Okay, well said. Ian Bowden, history is to be learned from for good or for bad, but you cannot simply break the law while the police just stand back and sympathize. Embarrassing, absolutely. David Coleman, Britain is the greatest nation there has ever been. Yes, it made mistakes. Okay. Scaffolded John, the first casualty of war is the truth. Okay. Michael Janaeus, if we don't understand our history, we will be repeated without thinking. I mean, the thing is, in the case of something like Penny Lane, in the case of something like Penny, like people, tourists from all over the world go there. And bear in mind that when I lived around there in the 1980s, that was that was so many years after the Beatles had split up. there wasn't much Beatles memorabilia then, because 1980 was a very depressing time. But now, I think in later years, I mean, the Beatles is a big tourist attraction in a city like Liverpool. And I do know for a fact people do like to go to Penny Lane because they love the Beatles and they want to see Penny Lane. Imagine you're an American tourist and you love the Beatles, as many of them do. You go to Liverpool, you say, "Oh, I want to see Penny Lane. I want to see Strawberry Fields. I want to see Penny Lane." And then you go to Penny Lane, you find that the sign has been changed simply because simply because it was revealed that it was named after a slave trader. Or imagine if you're a tourist from the other side of the world and you see this when you visit Penny Lane. Bloody disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. Sandra Taylor, the only one I agreed with was Saddam Hussein's statue. Yeah, that was pulled down by the people. What I thought was, the people, the people who the Iraqi people, when the Americans marched into Baghdad, the Iraqi people pulled down the statue, pulled down Hussein's statue. I mean, they wouldn't have said two words against him, but now that he was gone, he was overthrown. Yeah, he's a bastard. Let's pull his statue down and stamp on its head. Ian Bowden, I would like to see our police force pumped with steroids and armed with machine guns like the Terminator. That would put fear in lawbreakers in the UK. Okay. I think it would also cause a few people to be dead. Jet Up, didn't the woke mob want to get rid of Penny Lane in Liverpool recently for some reason or other? Yeah. It's because it's named after the slave trader. David Coleman, the English Navy stopped slave ships on the ocean and freed around 1 million slaves. Okay, fine. Well, Nick Ross, you forget it was England that ended the slave trade. Think Nelson. Okay, fine. Okay, thanks for that. Yours Travels in Liverpool, all the statues are of music, Beatles songs, Cilla Black, Billy Fiore. Well, that's the way it should be. It's funny that they didn't really celebrate the Beatles in the 1980s simply because Liverpool had no money. But now all that kind of stuff is sprung up. The Beatles tours and quite well. And the Beatles were wonderful. They were wonderful. So that's what Liverpool should be remembered for. Popcorn. There's an interesting question about the African leaders were profiting on providing the slaves that were being sent through Europe to American continent. Oh, of course they will. Oh, they're motivated by money, aren't they? They're all motivated by money. Scaffolded, John, we're the global minority. Okay. That's interesting. Be a good question, that won't it? David Coleman, all the normal thinking people are getting over this political correctness. Look at Italy, Sweden; they're all turning right wing. Good, yeah. There's a wave of there's a swing to the right, isn't it, throughout Europe? I think we're Britain, we're the ones who are remaining quite backward right now. World traveller forever. Political correctness has become I don't like saying that word, to society. They want new generations and no morals or values, especially when it comes to the LGBT stuff. Okay. Okay, we're getting a little bit heavy here. We're getting a little bit heavy. Capo, I think this is a joke. We should take down the Trader Street signs, especially that one-way guy. Okay. Super nice. I believe actually it's the right thing to kick those statues out. And yeah, some buildings are so ugly too. So what the hell? Okay. Yeah, Steve West, Nigeria. Okay, we don't want to get too heavy in all of this. Let's see. Paul asking, lots of countries have statues of their leaders. They certainly do. David Coleman, do any of you want to live at Martin Luther? Okay. Oh no, we're getting a bit noisy. We're getting into some sorts of stuff that we shouldn't really be talking about now. Let me see. Okay. Eastern man, 6,500 Nepalese indentured slaves went home from Qatar in body bags, yet the knee-taken footballers are still going to play there in the World Cup. Really? Jesus, great. That's interesting. Thanks for that. Lincoln, I'm 67, never seen a slave or seen anyone pick cotton. It's a convenient excuse to use when you want to rip apart your neighborhood. I really don't think everyone in the South owns slaves. Well, obviously, it was, not everyone had that kind of money, did they? Let's see, Yogi Bear. Ed, thanks to the genius of Lennon McCartney, Penny Lane is the most famous lane in the world. PLDC celebrates that unique heritage and has welcomed over 100,000 tourists since 2010. Okay, well said anyway. David Coleman, Yoz Travels, I'm a proud English Canadian. We're Liverpool roots. I don't give a damn about what happened 200 years ago. I mean, well, that's a good comment. We don't give a damn. I mean, it was, it probably was terrible. I mean, but then where do you stand? I don't want to get into. But every now and again, when you say, you say a news report comes up about, historical abuse in the church of, young people in the church, and that's whenever I hear that is just absolutely dreadful. It's truly dreadful. So. I mean, in the church, I mean, the way that they are guilty of all those heinous crimes against, underage choir boys and all that, this kind of stuff. Does this mean that we should rip down all of the churches? Well, to be honest with you, I probably agree with that. I'm not religious at all. I mean, I don't see the point of it. I don't see the point of it. But I mean, where do you stop with all of this? Where do you stop? I mean, I'm not religious. I don't see the point of bloody churches. But I must admit, that I do know of churches. I've seen it where I've thought to myself, that's a lovely historical building. I mean, if someone was to say to me, but in that particular building, there was 200 years ago, there was priests, perverts, getting up to all kinds of heinous stuff. I'd say, well, that was terrible 200 years ago. I still don't think you should rip the building down because that's a beautiful historical building. You know what I mean? But that's crazy. It's become a crazy bloody world. Ian Barber, UK must be a fantastic country. Still, as everyone seems to want to live here, so why do they protest over our lifestyle and history? Well, I mean, let me just drink some beer. Bloody good. That's not, what's it called again? Firecatcher, real ale. Nice. Only 3.5%, but it's nice stuff. What was that question again? UK must be a fantastic country, still, as everyone seems to want to live here. So why do they protest over our lifestyle and history? Well, the thing is, the people who come across here in dinghies, they do illegally. They do protest. They protest because the 4-star hotel that they're staying in isn't up to standard. The food that they're getting for free isn't up to standard. So yeah, they do complain, and soft touch Britain just lets them get away with it. Okay, David Coleman. Sorry, guys, I'm not going to apologize for something that my family never did. We never had slaves. Okay, let's see. Eastern man, Britain outlawed slavery 32 years before the USA, and we didn't have a civil war and kill 600,000. They were getting a bit bitchy there. No, we're not going to mention the Fiora here. We're not going to do that. Let's see. Jared Thomas, the dissolution of the monasteries was the worst case of vandalism ever committed. I mean, I personally think that all religion, is an absolute load of bollocks, and you know, and it's caused more wars and other bloody dysfunctions. But I must admit, I do love some of the buildings. I've seen monasteries that are beautiful. I mean, Angkor Wat in Cambodia is amazing. Some of the churches, some of the cathedrals that I've seen in the world. I've visited cathedrals in Italy and you know, other countries. Amazing buildings, and you know, I don't, and yeah, I think religion's a load of bollocks. I know that won't go down well with everyone, but you know, that's the way I feel. Yours travels 2 to 3 cruise ships stop in Liverpool every week now. Brings up to 10,000 to 12,000 extra tourists each week. Liverpool is now a very modern city, so friendly and cheaper than the south. I've heard so. My best mate, I mean, you know, who I've known since Liverpool, he still goes up there quite regularly, and he loves it. Absolutely loves it. Let's see. I am told people who complain about historical slave trade doing nothing about modern day slave trade. Yeah, the modern day. Yeah, that is it. They're just trying to whip up race division for political reasons. That's it. Instead of changing bloody street names and ripping statues and buildings down and all this kind of stuff, do something about the modern slavery, because that is a very, very real issue. That is human traffickers. You know, there's still slavery going on in this country now. That's what they need to channel the bloody energy and just stopping it. Never mind something that happened 200 years ago. Stop the stuff, the shite that's happening now. What's this? Capo 17, Ed, a beta giggle test, poll tax. Look, a poll, I'm not going to go into that. You just make me crack up. There's something about when you mention the poll tax riots and the pictures and videos I've seen that just cracks me up. It just cracks me up. The thing is, people protest and they get banners out and they march and all that. But you know, and that's often the way people protest. But you take money out of people's you take money out of people's pocket, especially when involve Maggie Thatcher and bang, you're going to kill someone. Okay, it just cracked me up. That did. Ian Bowden, David Beckham apparently earned a bob or two from that file state of Qatar. I'm sure they have found some lovely setters, but the system seems to be far from perfect. Just don't watch the football. There was the football. I mean, England's playing not very well now anyway. As soon as England go out of it, just stop watching it. I don't think I'll be watching too much of it. David Coleman, do any of you guys think that Saddam Hussein really got a fair trial? I'm not a fan, but you're not I'm glad to hear that you're not a fan of Saddam. He got a fair trial. Who bloody cares? He didn't care about anyone else. What I found was absolutely absurd on Question Time, BBC program, when Saddam Hussein was hung by the Iraqis. It sounds bloody rude that just being hung by the Iraqis. Okay. Anyway, when he was hung, there was guys who had mobile phones taking pictures out of it, and it was controversial. Some people said it's sick, taking pictures of the man as he's swinging from a rope. I mean, Christ, we. I mean, I don't necessarily support the death penalty, but come on. I mean, the Allied forces used precision bombing to try and kill this man. And now you got these bloody idiots who complain, I don't support the death penalty. Oh, Christ almighty. Fair trial? Did he deserve one? Let's see, Jamie296. If you're going to judge people from hundreds of years ago by today's standards and destroy anything they built, virtually every old bridge and old building will have to come down. Absolutely. Well said. Well said. Stop the silliness. It was terrible what happened in the past, but we've got our lives to get on with, and let's leave it at that. Ian Bowden, religion along with the monarchy are both out of date in the modern world. Yeah, maybe, but at least the monarchy is something you can have a laugh at. I mean, come on. I mean, who doesn't have a laugh when Fergie or people or Andrew are getting up to all kinds of dreadful things. Who doesn't have a laugh at that? Bent over. Saddam's statue scene stays. Statue of Saddam Hussein was pulled down in the most staged photo opportunity since Iwo Jima. Oh, come on! I seen that when it happened. Those Iraqi people. I mean, ding dong. The bastard is dead. I mean, that's basically what it was. I mean, they were with glee. They were stamping on it and everything. I'm not so sure that was staged, mate. Didn't look like it to me. They look like they meant it. Here's a good point. Legan 5591. Should we start tearing down all these historic sites like the pyramids, Angkor Wat, etc.? No slaves used to build these. Exactly, mate. Exactly. I mean, it's all getting bloody silly, and it's all getting. Fortunately, other countries like probably Egypt and Cambodia have got more bloody common sense than we have when it comes to this sort of stuff. Jared Thomas, Henry VIII was responsible for the destruction of the monasteries because they were Catholic, but in destroying them, he destroyed over 1,000 years of British history. Well, he was a nice man anyway, wasn't he? Wouldn't put it past that bastard. I am tilt. In the 90s, two of my mates got hung off a balcony at a party in Liverpool because they thought they were undercover drug police. Luckily, my Scouse mate managed to convince people they weren't. I wouldn't want to go to that bloody party. That's Eastern man. They want free money, while people whose ancestors weren't slave owners should give money to black people whose ancestors weren't slaves. Oh yeah, they all want free money. There's loads of people out there that want free money. Nick Ross, no slaves were used during building the pyramids. Okay. Yeah, okay. Funnily enough, I can't really believe that. McClan left one race. Ed, are you still here? Sorry I'm late. I've been having a heavy convo with the Filipino girlfriend. Don't worry, there's no sick, but I think conversation anyway. Not so much a bit of bump and grind. He's having a bit of conversation anyway. Well, good for you anyway, Clive. Good for you. Okay, so we've gone through that one anyway. That was quite interesting. So thanks to Ian Bowden for that question anyway. That was quite interesting. Right. So we've been on for an hour and 24 minutes now. Still a little teensy-weensy bit more, but before we do that, I'm going to have a drink anyway. Anyone else got anything to talk about? Here is this is not a nice thing to talk about. It's okay. We're going to talk about what do you think about this? It's not very nice to talk about this, but I think I will talk about this anyway, simply because it's very, very topical. And what should we call this? Okay, now this is probably not the best way of phrasing this. Probably not the most intelligent way of phrasing this, but I'll give it a go. Okay, so it's not a nice subject. This not a nice subject. There you go. That is a picture of an American bulldog, not a pit bull. It's an American bulldog. Okay, looks like a lovely animal. But today in Liverpool, it is Liverpool again. Something happened that happens all too frequently. It does happen frequently. A number of these things, I think there was quite a few. There may have been 5 of these things killed a 65-year-old woman. Not quite sure the circumstances yet, but they savaged her to death. A 65-year-old woman was killed today by about five. I think there was about five of these things. Looks like a lovely dog, absolutely beautiful dog, but it happens so frequently. I mean, that's similar. But a few years ago, there was I believe it was a 12-year-old girl. Oh, it's horrible. A 12-year-old girl was left in a house. This woman had a number of dangerous dogs. One of them was an American bulldog. There was a pit bull and various other dangerous dogs around. And this young girl who was familiar with these dogs was left in, alone in that house with them. And she went to the shops and she bought herself a meat pie because she was hungry. And, she went to a local shop and then she came back into the house and started eating the meat pie in front of them. And this is horrible. I know this is horrible. She started eating the meat pie in front of them. And basically these dogs went crazy and they savaged her to death. They actually savaged her to death. I think she was about 12 years old. So the question is, sometimes you think enough is enough. You hear it so frequently. Should owners of dangerous dogs be locked up? I mean, the question, why do people want dogs like this? Why did he want dogs like this? And you can't say, that could happen with anything. No, it not with any dogs. Not with any. It always seems to be very, very similar breeds, like this one that I've just shown. It happens. It's, your chances of getting savaged by a bloody dog are probably not very much. But it seems to happen by the same breed of dogs. So what do you think, guys? What do you think? Yeah, G-Man, okay? There is no reason to keep dogs like this. Countless times we read about dangerous dogs killing people. Why do we let this happen? I think the question is, why does anyone want a dog like this? Why do you want a dog like that in the first place? Because everyone knows these are dangerous. If they're in the wrong hands, they are dangerous. They're like wild animals, savage animals. Why do you want a dog like that? What kind of bloody person would want a dog like that? Jet Hopper, any dog like that is awful. They should be illegal, or at least people should have a license to own one. I think you do have to have a license to own one, but what does that mean nowadays? I don't know if that's law or not. I don't know. Let's see, Yogi Bear. It was so sad that woman lost her life, but it's not the dog's head; it's the breeders and owners. But the dogs prey. Yeah, it is the breeders and the owners. But the question is, I mean, it's like, if you own a firearm, and that firearm kills someone, whether it's by accident or whatever, you're going to face severe pain. I mean, the fact is, I know that I've phrased that in a very intelligent way, but I just I've met people who've got pit bulls, and I know somebody who had a pit bull and he went to court, to prove that it wasn't a pit bull and it was safe, and it cost him thousands of pounds. It was locked up, like put in quarantine for a while to prove that it was safe and all that. What do you want a pit bull? What the hell do you want something like that for? I mean, I've never ever heard of anyone being savaged to death by a bloody chihuahua or a cocker spaniel or anything like that. It's always one of these things. Yeah, Alan H, yes. Ian Bowden, I believe that a dangerous dog of any breed is only dangerous due to the way it is brought up by us humans. So yes is the answer. But dogs are not human. I mean, we humanize dogs a little bit much, too much. Dogs are savage. If you're doing it, especially when it regards food, you put food amongst dogs or bones or whatever, and they show their savage. These are wild animals. They're something like an American bulldog or a pit bull. They shouldn't be domestic pets. They're bloody savage animals, And they have, unfortunately, they have killed or scarred children, and a 65-year-old woman. Nick Ross, because they used it for fighting and gangs for protection. Well, they're bloody headbangers, aren't they? Lewis say, I thought they banned them years ago. Only criminals seem to have them. Maybe bring back a dog license. Okay. I am tilt. I feel sick when dogs attack children. Normally not the breed of dogs. It's the chav weed smoking owners. Absolutely. Absolutely. Whenever I've come across, a bunch of headbangers with a dog, a bunch of yobbos with a dog drunk, and the dog is always a bloody pit bull or something that looks like a pit bull. It goes with it. Why the hell did he need dogs like that? And you don't expect, well, because when you're young, when you're young and you're wild, you want a wild dog. I mean, that's no excuse at all. Jamie296, it's the owners. The reason it's always this kind of dogs because the terrible owners are attracted to this particular kind of dog. Absolutely, lock the bastards up. Just Farang, these dogs are gangster. Jet Hopper, they want a dog like that to look hard, apparently. Yes. Kappa, we keep hearing it's not the dogs, it's the owners. It's a combination of both. It's in the dog's motabilism. So in other words, it's not a domestic pet. It's a wild animal that's masquerading as a domestic pet. Ian Bowden, but yes, also some particular breeds seem to be more dangerous than a Chihuahua, for instance. Absolutely. I've never heard of a Chihuahua savage. So when I was a kid, I did get bloody savaged by a Jack Russell. I mean, Jack Russell, some people love those dogs, but I had a bad experience with it. I ended up in hospital having to have injections, the little bastard. Nasty little bastard. Nick Ross. Nick Ross, just ban the breeds, full stop. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, I love animals and all that, but if an animal is synonymous with, I know statistically people say, yeah, but you've got more chance of getting run over. Okay, fair enough. But that's because there's more cars than there are, pit bulls around. But if enough's enough, when you're out of the same breed of dog or a similar breed of dog being responsible for killing people, that dog should become extinct. Yeah. Let's see. Dutch Farang. I won't hesitate to stab the dog if it's assaulting me. Okay. Yeah. Ian Baum, the Shih Tzu on steroids can kill a man in 30 seconds. Okay. Alan H. Bred for dealers and gangs protection. Okay. Well, it should be a giveaway then. It should be a giveaway. I mean, I'm not necessarily support police, harassing, young people on the street. I mean, I don't support that. But if it's a police officer and they a bunch of young people with a pit bull, they should they should shoot the bloody dog and they should throw the others in prison because it's obviously what they're up to. Jamie296, these owners could have a docile German Shepherd and treat it like these owners do. It would also be dangerous. I mean, German Shepherds are wonderful dogs. German Shepherds are big, powerful animals. But there may be an isolated case where a German Shepherd is, or an Alsatian has attacked someone, but it's actually very, very rare. They're intelligent dogs, and I suppose if it's in the hand of the owner, they probably could do that. But it just seems to be the same bloody type of dogs. Nick Ross. So, yeah, absolutely. Lewis say 1 million people bitten by dogs in Thailand last year. I don't like those soy dogs, those stray dogs, because they look so skanky. I mean, I get the feeling one of those bit you bloody die of something. I don't like the look of them at all. Oh. Bent over, the owner and the dog look alike, and some dog breeds are protective of the owner. I'm pretty sure that when those dogs, and apparently there was a pack of them that killed that woman today. I'm pretty sure they weren't protecting the owner. She was a 65-year-old woman. Dutch Farang, what is a chav? Oh, some bloody skanky bloody person who you wouldn't want to know. Sandra Taylor, they should be taken off the streets. But a lot of these dogs have attacked people in their homes, like that case, that young kid, that I just told about, who was eating a meat pie. That was actually, she was actually attacked. I mean, what kind of stupid headbanger of a woman who owned those dogs? She actually left that young girl. It wasn't a daughter. I think it was a neighbor. And she left that young girl in charge of the dogs to look after the house. And she was left alone, this young girl, with these. One of them was an American bulldog, and I think a pit bull was involved, and various other things. And Jesus Christ, I mean, she went to the corner shop, bought a meat pie, started eating in front of the dogs, and oh my God! I mean, apparently the reports from the police when they eventually came into the house and seen what had happened was, it traumatized some of the policemen. You know. Mr. Cheeman, as far as I know, you can't own a line and take it down to the pub. Does anyone know? And I don't believe you can own a line. And if you own a line, you deserve to get eaten by it. Your travels. What was she doing in the house alone with the dogs? Was she his mum or auntie? The news said it was a dog breeder. I haven't got that far, Yoz, with the news, but I mean, apparently she was 65 years old woman. Let me see. Capo, yeah, absolutely, yeah. The Clan F1 race, a 65-year-old woman or 35-year-old man probably would have the same outcome. They're beautiful dogs, but I don't know how enough to pass judgment. All I know is grab your head and twist it. I just think, David Coleman, I love old dogs, but I do think these pit bulls are dangerous, and we never have to. No, I wouldn't. I mean, the question is, anyone who gets a bloody pit bull or one of those American bulldogs, knowing the history and the controversy, the question, what would you want one for? There's lots of breeds of dogs out there. If you want a big dog, you can have a German Shepherd. You can have, various, loads of different breeds. What you need one of them for? The reason that they're having one of them is because they want to be hard. They want the hardest dog on the block. I mean, when I first have heard of pit bulls, there was a controversy about dog fights. People, headbangs were using them for dog fights. That's it. And there was a big controversy many years ago. And that's when I first heard of pit bulls. You've got to be a headbanger, really, to want one of those dogs. Sandra Taylor, I don't trust any breed of dog, to be honest. It really annoys me when you see babies lying on the floor with it. Oh, God almighty, God almighty. Do you know something? There are some videos on YouTube and some big channels, because dogs are big. I mean, big in terms of people want to see the videos. There's some really, really big channels out there which are based around various animals, because people like animals and people want to see videos about animals. I watch videos about animals. But there's some channels out there, like, where they've got like a husky dog, and it shows the husky dog cuddling a baby or licking a little baby. Oh, that's sick. That bloody, if I click on a bloody thumbnail, I want to see a dog. I like animals. I love animals. I like watching videos about animals. But when you see a little baby, with a bloody big, hound, oh my God, what are you thinking? Get them away from each other. Some people are just stupid, they are. Tom Easton, how many people are knocked down by cars every year? Should we ban cars? There's some people who say that we that we should, mate. There's some people who say that we should. Yogi Bear, years ago, Rotties take the title of dangerous dogs. Yes, they did. Then it was pit bulls. That is just the least cross breeds. That is just the least crossbreeds to come on. They ban this one, they just cross it and start another breed. Yeah. Well, you got to question the people. You've got to question the people. Anyone who wants a dog like that, they should bloody interrogate the people and say, why? You give me a good, valid reason why you want a dog like this in the first place. Okay, Ian Bowden. Eddie, isn't it nice to have a female's point of view in your chat? Thanks to Sandra and Lewis C and others. Good that it's not 100% male comments. Okay, fine. That's fine. Well said, Ian. Well said. Okay, the women are welcome in this chat because obviously we know on this channel we talk about a variety of things that is relevant to everyone. So women are welcome here. Let's see. Combo, good evening, Eddie Jack. Good evening to you. Matthew Cartwright, I would rather deal with a dangerous dog than a pissed off ladyboy with heels. Okay. Yours travels, you grab the dog's two front legs and pull them apart. It virtually kills the dog. Okay. Yeah, but can a 65-year-old woman do that, though? I wouldn't have thought so. Nick Ross, in the army, they taught us how to kill dogs that might attack us, and that included Alsatians. Oh, my God almighty. I mean, do you know something? For every, for every bad report I hear about, pit bulls and all of that, I hear good reports about German Shepherds. I mean, they used them in the, the army and, the military and the police force used them. Wonderful dogs. Those dogs can be so wonderful. And yet, animals like this, kill people. Let's see. Nick Ross, ask any surgeon. They all agree that these breeds should be banned. Yeah, I think they should be banned. Enough's enough. Enough is enough. Arthur Lobban, you do anything against the pit bull or the drug dealer owners, and the woke lefties dickheads will be running to the courts. Yeah, stupid country. McLaren F1 race. Best way to defend yourself, it jumps up and you can react in time is to grab its head and twist it around to break its neck. Probably not easy in reality, though. I once seen, and it was when pit bulls were very topical, many years ago. Could have been many years, 30 years ago, whatever. A pit bull had killed a child, not the incident that I just told you about, but you come back about 30 years, a pit bull had killed a child, and then the controversy started that, we should ban this breed and all that. And they found this guy, this man who had been attacked on a walk. He was walking somewhere and he'd be attacked by two pit bulls. And he came on the news to give his side of the story. And they had to give a warning before they showed his face on the TV news. He was at a press conference. This is what can become of a pit bull attack. And his face, oh my God, it was like something out of a horror movie. They basically ripped his face out. They ripped his face. And this was a grown man. This was a big grown man. The pit bulls had just ripped his face off. Oh my God almighty. Jesus Christ. Judge Farang, what is a skanky? Judge Farang was asking, what is a chav? What is a skanky? They're young, druggy sort of people who spend their lives trying to act hard, have horrible, nasty dogs, and try and talk like they're hard, and you wouldn't want to know. You wouldn't want to know a skank or a chav. Nick Ross, 65-year-old woman and 5 pit bulls. Jeez, that's dreadful. Sandra Taylor. I got chased to Eastern Park by a Jack Russell. Got up the climber frame away from it. Next day, same dog did bite someone. Yeah, absolutely. Jack Russell, they can be bastards. We had a Jack Russell, a fully grown one that had been trained to hunt rabbits and all this kind of stuff. And it came, and basically we had a cat, and the Jack Russell kept trying to attack the cat. And I grabbed the cat, and the bloody Jack Russell turned on me and bit a big chunk out of my leg. Never liked that breed of dog ever since. Citizen Mikey, I got a bit of a devil dog when I was a kid. The guy never let it run around outside after that. It was a maniac. It would either have killed someone or another animal. Yeah, absolutely. Ian Bowden, I hear that many soy Thai dogs have man's contagious apparently of throat. Oh, jeez, don't even go. What I don't like about soy dogs is that when you see them on the cramped pavements in Pattaya, you see them on the. I always think that if he starts snapping at me, then I'll go out into the road and get run over. You know, I'll go on a bloody road. The roads will get run over. I just don't like the look of them. Nick Ross. Pit bulls are banned breeds, and so they should be. Yeah, I do know. I actually know someone, and the bloke who I know is a bit of a headbanger. Well, no, a bit of a chav and a skank. He's a headbanger, and I actually seen him one day with a pit bull, and I was talking to him, and it was quite obviously a pit bull, and he was, he was telling me he had to put the dog into some kennels for months. It cost him £3,000, and he had to prove. That it was not a dangerous dog or it wasn't a designated pit bull. I mean, it certainly bloody looked like one. I mean, it says a lot. What the hell do you need? Why the hell does an idiot like that need a dog like that? I mean, what's the hell is it all about? Anyone who wants a pit bull is a bit bloody dubious. Let's see, Nick Ross, shoot all pit bulldogs on sight. Okay. Jamie296, I've been doing a bit of a side job delivering parcels. I've been bitten, but I told the owner I was fine, as I was upset by how they were shouting at the dog. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah, you've been bitten, but it's, a dog bite can kill. People have died from a dog bite. You never know what kind of illness it's got. Let's see, what's this? Arthur Lobber, no soy dogs on the streets when you walk from the port to the other side of the island. Okay. Mr. Cheeman, these dogs are fighting dogs, bred to fight to the death, obviously not fit for domestic environment. What kind of psychopath wants 5 of these? Exactly. Okay, anyway. Let's see. Tommy's. I had an American Akita, same dog that's in my profile photo. Oh yeah, apparently they're quite a nice dog then. Paul Hoskin, what do you do if the dog tries to mount you? Well, it depends whether you like it or not, doesn't it? Okay. Super nice. I once drove my motorbike down a small alley in the middle of Bangkok. I was met by a huge, super scary, loud barking dog run up to me. I was lucky and got away. A Thai lady laughed at me. Okay. Ricardo, it's funny, Ed. You never heard of anyone getting savaged by a poodle, do you? No, I've never. But poodles, bloody, I'm going to put down this poodles. I mean, but poodles are. I know someone's got a poodle, and the dog's called Sasha, and obviously a female with that name, and this lady takes it to get her hair done, and it's beautiful. It's such a nice house. It's a nice, it's absolutely beautiful. But some people wouldn't be seen dead, walking around with a poodle. I must admit, once, I mean, I was somewhere, and this lady had a couple of poodles, the bigger ones, and and all of a sudden the poodles seen me. I got out of my car, and one of these poodles seen me, and I think it was a male poodle, and I just turned around and started barking at me, started barking like hell, and the woman was pulling it back on the chain, and there's something bizarre when a poodle barks at you and threatening. You think to yourself, who are you kidding, you bloody Nancy boy? You're not a bloody Rottweiler. You're a poodle now. Start acting like one. Oh my God. Yours travels. We had a Labrador for 13 years. Amazing, friendly dog. They're softies. Yeah, nice doggies. I like Labradors. Dutch Frank, you know what's annoying? When dog owners are walking their dogs, and then when you come walking by, they still acting like the dog is searching for a spot to pay, but they're waiting for you. Okay, fair enough. I'll think about that one. What's this? Super nice. It has been incidents of pit bulls killing people in the same household as their owners in Thailand too. All these scary dogs should be outlawed. Why do we need these dogs? Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I say. Okay, well, anyway, we're now at 52 minutes. I've been on for quite a while anyway. So, yeah, final one. Ian Bowden, do you keep up to date with your inoculations each year that even your travels? I am a little bit behind with all of them. I mean, I went through I went through a phase when I was getting lots of those. No, I haven't checked, to be honest with you, mate. I haven't checked. Okay, Manny Straven, because cool people don't get poodles, any dog can be made more aggressive. Those bastards who take a dog aggressive get dogs that look cool, like pit bulls. Okay, so listen. Anyway, we've been on for almost 2 hours now. It's been a good little, had some good little questions. I mean, when you think about it, come on, it's not bad for Tuesday night. What the hell else is going on Tuesday night? Late Monday, late Tuesday night. I mean, the telly's is the same old depressing stuff on the news and all of that. So listen, guys, I'll say thanks for tuning in tonight. It's a good little discussion. I'll be back on Thursday night on the other channel with some travel talk. There's a few things to talk about anyway. So thanks everyone. I'm going to sign off now. McLaren F1, cheers. Yours travels. Thanks for that. Take care. See you on Thursday. Okay, cheers. I am so really enjoyable stream. Good night all. Okay. McLaren, great dog hating debate. Okay. I love dogs, but I just don't like those ones. Okay. So I'll say good night. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. Have a lovely Wednesday, and I'll see you Thursday night. Cheers.